Kanye West, Don C, Virgil Abloh, Tisa, Mr. Bentley. There's a whole bunch of these people that have been in this one epic image that we always see circulating on Instagram, YouTube, whatever the case might be. But this one crazy epic image was taken during Paris Fashion Week where, matter of fact, rather me say it, I'll let you get a chance to hear it.
Like, we couldn't get in the fashion shows when we first started wanting to go to fashion shows. Like, I don't know if you noticed that street shot, that wasn't in no fashion show.
No, it was outside.
That was outside of a fashion show.
No doubt.
We was just making a movement because they wouldn't let us in. And then guess who let us in? Karl Lagerfeld.
That's crazy.
He the man who let us in.
Wow.
I'll never forget, it was a Sunday morning Lawn Vaughn show because we started making a movement outside of shows.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't get in. So we started making a movement like, man, niggas like, oh, they gonna be outside the show though.
Wow.
And so we started getting fresh, standing at the door. And you know us, we at the door, like, whatever. Y'all see, we making a movement out here.
Yeah.
And one day Karl pulled up to that Lawn Vaughn show, was like, come in with me. And we like, oh, yeah, we up in here. We walk in the show with Karl Lagerfeld.
That's the one.
And we 10 deep. We deep.
That's crazy.
You know, we deep. It wasn't no, this Chicago nigga. Man, to be able to have that foresight, I got to say, Ye was a true visionary because he was intentional about it.
Got it.
We was like, Ye was literally intentional about it then. Wow. He was saying like, man, we gotta get these pics too, because this gonna be like moments in history.
Wow.
He was saying it. And you know what, he said it so much, and I clowned the man, so that's why I gotta apologize. He said, man, they gonna look back at this and they gonna look at us like Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson, like we the civil rights leaders. He was like, we the civil rights leaders of this movement. He said it then. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, we're like the 63 March on Washington. Yeah, of course. Like, you know, I was joking with him then, but it was for real.
Hey, look what happened, bro.
So recently, Don C did say that this epic image that was taken and circulated throughout Instagram, Reddit, all these other social media platforms during the time of fashion, that during Fashion Week, they didn't even get the opportunity to enter into the fashion show. They were denied and denied and denied of entering the fashion shows. And look where these same individuals that was denied the Fashion Week invite ended up. Don C works with Michelin S. He had an epic run when it came to hats. He was selling hats for $500 a hat with python leather on it. Virgil Abloh, rest in peace. Pyrex, Off-White, Louis Vuitton collabos with Nike, which we didn't even see coming. He had multiple different pairs. I believe it was 20-something different pairs of Nike with Off-White collaborations. That alone right there is kind of like gold standard. And Tisa had a definite run where they were doing throwbacks and hats with, man, listen, the movement was moving so crazy, and I don't think people really appreciated what some of these guys did in the fashion space and is currently doing, because we didn't even get to Kanye West and what he did in the fashion space. We continuously say Kanye West, but Kanye West is probably one of the most influential people. Let's not get it twisted. Let's move aside his outbursts, quote unquote, looking crazy in the public, to he is one of the most influential people between music, fashion trends, changing fashion, footwear, just people looking different in general on a daily basis. Louis Vuitton Dom, Polo era, vintage Jordan retros, wearing those on a stage where it's designer mixed with Nike, and he made it a thing. So I don't believe that some of y'all really give the credit to a lot of these dudes in this one epic picture, and to find out that these same cats was not allowed in Paris Fashion Week. And now they open for Paris Fashion Week, and they are mainstays in Paris Fashion Week. That's why I'm saying y'all got to figure out exactly what you following behind and why you following behind it. Because these brands don't really know the temperature of the streets. These brands drop whatever they drop in these Paris Fashion Weeks, New York Fashion Weeks, London Fashion, all these other fashion weeks where it comes out, Tokyo, Korea, all of Japan, all these other locations where they do fashion, and they don't know the temperature because they don't give the opportunity to people that should be caretaking and really putting together for the look of fashion. The shit that we see on the runway is not what we wear, and that's not how we wear it. I get it. I understand that, you guys are putting the money behind it and the engine and da 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 da. That shit don't matter, because nothing we see about what y'all do on the runway is how we put it together. And I think we as the culture should take a step back and say, we giving too much energy to high end, because I've seen the recent high end looks, and it seems like high end and streetwear have been separating from one another. If y'all haven't noticed that on the runway, they are going back to the minimalistic business style. You might get a belt that might be a logo, but you're not seeing a lot of the prints. Aside from maybe Pharrell in the Louis Vuitton space, because he's from streetwear, but the traditional household fashion brands who are like the creme de la creme, they're no longer doing that.
Logomania is out, but is that a good thing? The Spring-Summer 2025 shows have one consistent theme. Luxury looks like luxury again. And by luxury, we mean clothes that look expensive, crisp lines, real-world styling, approachable silhouettes, and more timeless, less trend-led designs. The fashion industry's authorities have long complained about the streetwearification of luxury. But now, streetwear and luxury are once again drifting apart. The shift started last year when fashion shows became more toned down and introduced a sexier corporate look, a formula that set the standard for elegance in the 90s, thanks to designers like Tom Ford. However, not all brands are bowing down to quiet luxury. Brands like Versace have stuck to their signature maximalism. There's no athleisure, no hoodies, and hardly any luxury sneakers, for better or worse. The clothes look good, let's be clear, but do they have soul? And what about the kids who finally found luxury leaning their way in the Kim Jones and Virgil Abloh Louis Vuitton days? No one knows what's coming next, but it's a safe bet that whatever happens, luxury's wealthy clientele will still want to look wealthy.
You might get a little logo on the chest or on the belt logo on the bag or something like that, but it's no longer all over the place. Monogram is kind of out. So it seems like they've been separating themselves from streetwear. And I get it, because streetwear is very interesting, where it has its highs, it has its lows, and then the new things aren't really like appreciated. And then in the same vein that the new shit that really does come in, people want it for a small period of time, and then it's like it's being overdone in the street, and we don't want any parts of it. So they kind of lend back to the whole high end or the traditional streetwear brands. You're seeing now a couple of brands getting it. The Hundreds had a run. Stussy's getting another run. Like Baby's coming back. So these brands are given the opportunity to resurge in the market, because people kind of like, let me not be disrespectful, but kind of oversaturate the market where nobody really wants to be attached to these brands on a consistent basis. So I kind of get it. I kind of don't appreciate it, but what could be said, because you can only spend your money on what you like and where your vision is for your particular closet.